Every year on February 27th, the Pokemon Company celebrates Pokemon Day as a way to commemorate the releases of Pokemon Red and Pokemon Green in Japan back in 1996. As someone who's been collecting every Pokemon in the games for nearly 20 years now, I normally post some updated progress on my complete Pokédex, but this year I wanted to change it up a bit. I recently bought the last games I needed, and I now have what I consider to be my complete Pokemon collection. I have pretty much every game that was released in North America, as well as some of the Japanese exclusives or ones that we didn't get here. Now they're not all complete, but honestly that's the most affordable way I would have been able to complete this collection. So for this video I wanted to go one by one and show off everything in my collection. And just to get one thing out of the way before I start, I'm aware that my Game Boy boxes are reproductions, but everything else is legit. This was just the best way I could think to display my collection while still keeping it affordable. I know it's not for everybody, but it works fine for me. Maybe the next step in my collection will be to actually get real boxes for them. And the best way to support the channel would be with a like and a subscribe. It would really help out a lot. And let me know down below if you want to see more videos like this. Alright, let's get into it. Starting off with Gen 1, I have Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Yellow Special Pikachu Edition, the Japan-only Pokemon Green, and it even has this little map of the Kanto region, and a Japanese copy of Pokemon Blue, since this is what our versions of Red and Blue were based on. For Gen 2, we got Pokemon Gold, Pokemon Silver, and Pokemon Crystal. For Gen 3, we have Pokemon Ruby, Pokemon Sapphire, Pokemon Emerald, Pokemon Fire Red, and Pokemon Leaf Green. For Gen 4, there's Pokemon Diamond, Pokemon Pearl, which is actually my first Pokemon game, Pokemon Platinum, Pokemon Heart Gold, and Pokemon Soul Silver. I had the big box bundles of these games that had the Pokewalker and the pre-order figures, and actually found my old Pokewalker while recording this, and it turns out there's been a Pikachu sitting on here for 15 years, so sorry buddy. For Gen 5, there's Pokemon Black, Pokemon White, Pokemon Black 2, and Pokemon White 2. Moving on to Gen 6, there's Pokemon X, Pokemon Y, Pokemon Omega Ruby, and Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. In Gen 7, there's Pokemon Sun, Pokemon Moon, Pokemon Ultra Sun, Pokemon Ultra Moon, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. In the 8th generation, there's Pokemon Sword, Pokemon Shield, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Pokemon Shining Pearl, and Pokemon Legends Arceus. Currently at Gen 9, there's Pokemon Scarlet, and Pokemon Violet. Moving on to the spin-offs, I'm going to start with the Stadium-style games. So first I got Pocket Monster Stadium, which was only released in Japan on the Nintendo 64. Then there's Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Stadium 2, Pokemon Coliseum, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, and mine actually still has the poster, and Pokemon Battle Revolution. Next up, there's Pokemon Trading Card Game, Pokemon Trading Card Game 2 Here Comes Team Great Rocket, which was only released in Japan, and Pokemon Trading Card Game How to Play DS, another Japan-only game. This is more instructional rather than an actual game like the other two. Next is Pokemon Pinball, and Pokemon Pinball Ruby and Sapphire. Some of the storage software they've released, like Pokemon Box Ruby and Sapphire. Now my copy's Japanese because the prices on these in English are insane, but this is good enough for my collection for now. There's also My Pokemon Ranch on WiiWare, Pokemon Bank, Poke-Transporter, and Pokemon Home. The Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games, starting with Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue Rescue Team, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Time, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Darkness, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Gates to Infinity, Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon, and Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. There's the Ranger games, starting with Pokemon Ranger, Pokemon Ranger Shadows of Almia, and Pokemon Ranger Guardian Signs. The Rumble games including Pokemon Rumble, Pokemon Rumble Blast, Pokemon Rumble U, and this game actually released alongside a whole wave of NFC figures that actually predate Amiibo. Here's a couple that I picked up: Pokemon Rumble World, the Snap games, Pokemon Snap, and New Pokemon Snap. The puzzle games, Pokemon Puzzle Challenge, Pokemon Puzzle League, Pokemon Troze, Pokemon Shuffle, and Pokemon Battle Troze. Now I'm calling these the Pikachu style games, so we got Hey You Pikachu, and Pokemon Channel. The Pokepark games, including Pokepark Wii Pikachu's Adventure, and Pokepark 2 Wonders Beyond. Now for Pokken Tournament. I've also still got my sealed Shadow Mewtwo amiibo card that came with the original release, and Pokken Tournament DX. The Detective Pikachu games, including Detective Pikachu and Detective Pikachu Returns. And now just some of the Pokemon spin-offs that don't really have like their own series to go with. So we got Pokemon Dash, Learn with Pokemon Typing Adventure, Pokemon Conquest, Pokemon Art Academy, Pokemon Treta Lab. Now I actually really don't have a use for this, but this is a companion for an arcade game in Japan. Pokédex 3D, Pokédex 3D Pro, Pokemon Dream Radar, Pokemon Picross, The Band of Thieves and 1,000 Pokemon. I've got the Pokemon Go Plus for Pokemon Go, the Pokemon Go Plus Plus for Pokemon Sleep, and the Pokeball Plus for Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, and Pokemon Go. And just as a bonus, I'm going to throw in some of the apps that I've downloaded on my phone over the past few years. So there's Pokememe, Pokemon Duel, Pokemon Go, Pokemon Home, Pokemon Masters EX, Pokemon Pass, Pokemon Quest, Pokemon Rumble Rush, Pokemon Shuffle, Pokemon Sleep, Pokemon Smile, Pokemon TCG Live, Pokemon TCG Pocket, Pokemon TV, Pokemon Unite, Pokemon Cafe Remix, Camp Pokemon, and Magikarp Jump. So that's my complete collection of Pokemon games. I think I got them all, at least all of the main ones. I'm sure there's a couple smaller releases out there that I could still pick up, but I've been collecting for nearly 20 years now, and I don't think that's going to stop anytime soon. I'm looking forward to seeing what's coming next, and I'll definitely pick it up. But for now, if you enjoyed the video, please remember to leave a like and subscribe, it really helps me out, and also comment who your favorite Pokemon is. Anybody who knows me knows my answer's Turtwig, but there's over 1,000 of them, so every one of them has to be someone's favorite. And with all that, I'll see you guys next time.